Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs, and thank you for tuning back into St. Andrew TV, a cure for your Monday blues. I'm your host, Andrew, and today we are doing a weapon spotlight. We haven't done one of these in a while. Today's weapon we are covering is the Browning Auto 5. And before anybody goes down to the comment section stating that this shotgun in particular was manufactured in 1902, outside of the Victorian era, well, I'm here to tell you that we will get to that, and I will tell you why I included it into a Wild West themed channel. So without further ado, let's cover the Browning Auto 5. Now, before we get into the Browning Auto 5, I would like to put out a feeler. I did have some ideas of live streaming, playing, Red Dead Redemption 2, or maybe another game that the audience request. Let me know how you'd feel about that if you'd stop by to a YouTube live stream of, just me sitting there playing video games, and we can just have like a Q&A session or something of that nature. Let me know if that would be something that everyone would be interested in and come by and hang out. You heard me say in the intro, the reason why I'm including this shotgun is because John Moses Browning designed this in 1898, which is very much inside the era known as the Victorian era. And the patent actually went through in the year 1900, which was 1 year prior to the Victorian era ending. So let's get into the first mass-produced semi-auto shotgun and what makes this so special. This shotgun in particular has a system known as the long recoil system. We will get into the long recoil system later, but this design actually was offered to Winchester first, but that deal fell through because they did not meet the demands of John Browning. Later, he would present this design to Remington, but as he was awaiting a response from the CEO, Marcellus Hartle, he, the CEO of Remington, died of a heart attack, therefore no agreement was reached. That took John Moses Browning overseas to Fabrique Nationale, otherwise known as FN, which is a gun manufacturer in Belgium. And he pitched this idea to them, which they ultimately accepted. They also produced John Browning's high-power pistol. And production of the Browning Auto 5 began in 1902. Not only did production start in 1902, but it actually lasted for over 100 years with this specific shotgun, and it appeared in 2 world wars. So as I said earlier, we will get into the long recoil design and what makes this shotgun the first mass-produced semi-auto shotgun ever put into production. Now, I am paraphrasing because there is a lot that goes into this gun right here. I got this information off of ForgottenWeapons.com, and this is how the long recoil system works. Long recoil is an inertia-fed semi-auto design, which means that this has an artillery barrel. It is not stuck in one place, and when you fire, it actually pushes the barrel back into the receiver. The bolt back here remains locked until that barrel reaches all the way back to the length of the full cartridge that is sitting inside the chamber. At that point, the bolt is held rearward, and then the barrel returns forward due to a return spring. This allows an empty cartridge to stay on the bolt face until the barrel goes back into its original position. Also, this is where the exhausted case is ejected, right here to be exact. That means the barrel is out of the way of the bolt face, and this is where it actually rechambers a new round from underneath in the magazine. Obviously, a gunsmith could give you a more detailed overview of the long recoil system, but that is essentially what this is doing when you are firing it. It is semi-auto, which means that you point, pull the trigger, and you're ready to pull the trigger immediately. Now, the humpback, which is the nickname for the Browning Auto 5, comes with a 28-inch barrel and is chambered in 12 gauge. The capacity of a Browning A5 is, you guessed it, 5 rounds, but is actually technically a 4+1.
Hey everyone, this is post-production Andrew. I did notice that I did make a mistake in the original recording of the Browning A5 video. I'd like to point out that the original Belgian-made Browning Auto 5s do not have the speed loader design, which means that there's a 2-piece carrier. You actually have to depress this button here to make it able so you can load shotgun shells into the magazine. You can't just feed one up with the slide open, because if you were to try and push this, it's not going to go anywhere. You can see that's pretty solid. And when you would try to depress this to make sure that this allowed you to get shells up into the magazine, you can see that the slide will close. I do believe that the 2-piece carrier came around in 1953. So if you have a Browning A5 that was made post 1953, you should be able to just open up the slide and feed a cartridge in, and the first shotgun shell should feed right into the chamber, and then you can load 4 more. But on the original Browning A5s, you do have to depress this little button here, and then that's what allows you to feed shells up into the magazine. And the way you load 5 is you pull the slide back, load one in the chamber, depress the button, that sets one in the chamber, and then you depress the button again to load 4 more in the magazine. So there is just the extra bit of information that I had to do post-production because I made a little mess up.
It only weighs 9 pounds. This is an excellent sporting shotgun. Here are the shotgun rounds that I used in it. You can't use certain types, but I did ask around and do my research, and these cycle really well, never had any issues. This is what I use. There are particular shotgun shells that will not cycle very well through the Browning A5. I mean, it is a design that is now 122 years old. 126 if you count when he designed it. This, by John Browning himself, was called his greatest accomplishment, and that's saying something from a man who created a lot of iconic firearms. But enough with the history lesson, enough of me telling you a lot about the Browning itself. I say we load this thing up and we shoot some unsuspecting root beer cans, and you can actually see the Browning A5 in action. Those little root beer cans did not know what was coming to them. Now I might add, this shotgun is the first thing that I've ever shot that is semi-auto, and it's also a 12-gauge shotgun. So I got some bruises with the constant recoil hitting me in the shoulder, and since this was built in Belgium, the bruises that you get on your shoulder are actually referred to as a Belgian dip.
It's called a Belgian dip.
And that concludes the overview of the Browning Auto 5. This is also known as the semi-auto shotgun in Red Dead Redemption 2 and the first Red Dead Redemption.
Cool.
I hope you guys enjoyed. Please feel free to leave a like if you've enjoyed today's video, or leave me a comment stating what you liked, or tell me what I should do next. I have a Patreon that is linked down in the description or right here below me. I am only community funded, so if you'd like to support the channel, please feel free to leave a donation, but do not feel any obligation to do so. The content on YouTube will forever remain free. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed as of late, but for those of you who have come across this video or this channel, maybe because you wanted to learn about the Browning A5, maybe you just like Wild West content in general, or maybe you just wanted to see me make an Austin Powers reference today. Think about hitting that subscribe button, because you're a daisy if you do. Hey assholes! It's me, Mini-Me, come and get me!